So the Hulkster is dead.
Yeah.
He was 71. He had a heart attack, according to Suke and Buck.
And yet somehow Ric Flair still lives.
I know.
Yeah, it just makes no sense.
I'm a little happy about because, okay, so Hulk was like everybody, because wrestling has just had so many different iterations.
But he is the reason why wrestling is big.
But you and I lived through the Hulk years.
Yes.
Like that was our peak wrestling.
Yeah. The 80s.
Yeah, the 80s.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to mention that because it turns out that what's his name? Terry Bollea?
Yes.
Was such a bad guy.
Of the worst kind.
Because he's was such a bad guy.
Yeah.
Because I have to separate. This is a bit like the Michael Jackson conversation.
Yeah.
I have to separate Hulk Hogan from Terry Bollea.
The art from the artist.
Yeah.
And that's right.
Yeah.
And so I just want to state, before we get going here, that I am really happy that the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, outlived Hulk Hogan. That makes me happy because the Boogie Woogie Man, that was my guy after the Hulkster. And I'm happy because he was an old guy then.
Sure.
He still lives. He is still with us, and the world deserves that.
The idea that he made it to 71 with every chemical that's flowing through that guy's body and all the abuse, like, for a wrestler to live to 71, I think this is the equivalent of like Rob living to 116. Like, wrestlers don't get to live to 71. So the fact that he even made it that far.
Well, Ric Flair, how old's Ric Flair?
I don't. Ric Flair he may be the Keith Richards. Ric Flair should have been dead in 1978.
He's 76.
Or he should have been dead in 76. Instead, he's 76. Like, if that guy died tomorrow, every one of us would be like, yeah, that's about right. And he's a terrible person too. Maybe you can't be a good person and be a wrestler from the 80s.
So
I don't know.
Who lived the long, like Ozzy at 76, Flair still alive at 76, or Hogan at 71?
I think Hogan lived a cleaner life. Like Ric Flair and Ozzy. Have you seen some of the Ozzy clips that are out there about Ozzy's drug use?
Ozzy making it to 76 is
it's
the biggest over hit of all time.
Of all time, yeah. Ozzy was telling, there's a great clip going around about Ozzy talking about how he stopped doing LSD, mainly because he took like 10 tabs of LSD and then went and talked to a horse for like 10 hours, and then the horse told him to go F himself. And Ozzy was like, well, I guess that's the end of LSD. Like, Flair and Ozzy lived a harder life. I kind of feel towards the end, like Hogan, by all accounts, never went down all of the roads that those others guys did. He did the roids, and he was just a terrible person, and he was the worst kind of racist. He told his son, who was in prison for damn near killing one of his son's best friends, Hulk Hogan told him in a jail conversation that because of this and the family problems, that karma, they were going to come back, the Hogan family was going to come back as a bunch of N-words. Like, that's what he said. And then he was upset that his daughter was dating a N-word multiple times.
Yeah, he said, I'd rather her at least be dating an 8-foot-tall N-word who makes $100 million, i.e. a basketball player, than an average N-word.
Yeah, he's just, and then he did this is not who I am. And it is who you are. Every time you get recorded, you're dropping like the worst things you can say.
He's on tape saying, come on, we're all a little racist, right?
I mean, but then he reinvented himself and was like, oh, go trouble, take my shirt off. And we're like, oh, we love him.
Well, he got baptized 18 months ago, too.
Yeah.
Brooke ended up marrying an NHL player.
Yeah.
A white guy.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
She won't. She's disowned the rest of the family. She won't have anything to do with it.
But did you know she married an NHL player?
I knew she got. I didn't know she married an NHL player.
She pretends to be an actress and a singer.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, enough about bad Terry Bollea.
Yeah, can we talk about Hulk Hogan? Because I loved Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, dude, Hulk Hogan. If you were to name the top 80s pop culture icons,
he's top 5.
Is he?
Yeah, it's not even close.
I mean, if you put, I'm not even saying icons as in people. I'm talking about 80s things, like 80s phenomena. Let's say pop culture phenomenons in the 80s. You would have he's not bigger than Michael Jackson.
No, Michael was the biggest.
If you had to pick one, it would be Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Madonna was probably bigger than Hulkster.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about that is I was thinking about this today. Of Madonna, Michael Jackson, and Hulk at the time, Madonna was viewed as the worst.
Yes.
Who knew Michael Jackson was a molester and Hulk Hogan was racist and Madonna was great?
Madonna turned out to be.
You remember that?
Madonna turned out to be the best one.
I mean, we had such wool pulled over our
yeah,
eyes.
because Madonna was like,
she was so
taboo, and
Yes.
she pushed sexual boundaries and pissed off the church and all that. But
how about that?
yeah, it turns out Madonna was on the right side.
I
of
think
history.
we all owe Madonna an apology.
Yeah.
At any rate, okay, so top 80s pop culture phenomenon. The things that I thought of today. Michael Jackson and Madonna, and I'm not sure he was bigger than either of those.
No.
I don't think he was bigger than Star Wars.
No.
I don't think he was bigger than... Well, now you get into a debate. I threw out E.T.
Okay, E.T. at the peak E.T., but Hogan lasted way longer.
Yeah,
than
he had the
E.T.
staying power.
He had the staying power.
And then Pac-Man.
Yeah, those are pretty good. Like, let's just say this. Outside of those top couple that you named.
The top three.
The
Star Wars, Michael Jackson, Madonna.
And those are in a different stratosphere. I think Hogan competes with any of those others. Like, he took an industry that no one gave a damn about, and he made it into one of the biggest things. That I think part of my childhood was 80s wrestling. I remember in the Sullivan Arena in Anchorage, Alaska, every summer when we'd go up there and we got to go see the WWE, that was bigger than any sporting event that I went to as a kid. Like, that was the thing. I remember, like, him and Andre the Giant. I remember him. I think I cried when he lost to the Ultimate Warrior. I was like, what is happening right now? I mean, it was just, he was enormous. And the WWE as we know it, from The Rock and all of those, guys that came after, that have gone on to huge Hollywood stardom, and none of that exists without Hulk Hogan.
Do you think, I don't know, he didn't really have any cool moves?
No, he didn't. He
And
was a
he
terrible
was,
In
wrestler.
fact, the leg drop was super lame.
It
that
was
like
super lame.
That's like his main finishing move, and it was just
Yeah.
him jumping and landing on the back of his legs.
Yeah, that, and he wasn't particularly good looking, and he wasn't particularly, like, it's hard to put your finger on what actually made him so appealing.
He had some,
but he
had some sort of charisma about him, and he was larger than life,
brother.
Like, and
well, it's all his bits. Like, he had the boa,
Yep.
and he had the bandana, and he had the mustache, and he ripped off his shirt.
there was a showmanship quality to it, and the shaking
He had
of
the
head.
24-inch pythons.
Yeah. But when you talk to when you listen to anyone, he was not a great wrestler. Everyone admits that. No one liked him, but there was some. I always say this about, like, the Kardashians, right? You can hate the Kardashians all you want, but they have something that no one else does. Like, there's a million people out there trying to do what they do, and it doesn't work. But for whatever reason, they work. And you could say that about Hogan. You hear that all the time from this person's a better wrestler, and this person, had a better body, or this person this person that. And it didn't work. But with him, it worked. He was the right guy at the right time, and he raised a multi-billion-dollar industry off his own back. And like I said, when I was growing up, I can't think of many people that were bigger than Hulk Hogan. I just can't. Like, little kid me, an entire country. He was the guy.
How many bandanas do you think he owned?
Well, I got to know him a little bit because he lived in Tampa. And when he was with the Buccaneers, he would come around. He would come around to games. He would come into the locker room and stuff. And so I bet you I've seen Hogan in person 12 times, 10 to 12-ish times.
Did he have a different bandana every time?
Every single time.
He had a bandana for every occasion.
Every occasion.
So when he was in court,
he
wore a bandana. He wore the black one. That was his court bandana.
He would go to award shows.
Bandana.
He would go to award shows in a sleeveless tuxedo, tuxedo with the sleeves cut off, and a bandana.
That's the Hulkster formal
That
wear.
was the Hulkster formal wear. Yes.
Do you think they bury him in his finest bandana?
If they don't, shame on them.
Yeah, guns out, or I don't know.
Yeah, his guns.
His guns got to be out.
And this was 20 plus years ago. He was so leathery. So he's 71. So I caught him when he was in his 50s. He looked like he was 70 back then. He was so leathery and just, I don't know. And he's not as big as you think he was.
Really? He seemed really big.
Yeah, like and I think when in the 80s at the peak of the steroids, I think he was bigger, but I think they billed him at like 6'8", he was not 6'8". When you met him in person, he was a big guy, but he was not, being around NFL players, he would not have been one of the bigger guys on the team. So I think he had lost some weight, and the height, whether he had shrunk from all the back surgeries, he kind of walked too, like, he was all like bent over a little bit. I think he was really beat up from his wrestling days. And I'll also point out that whenever he would come around, he was wearing a weight belt.
A what?
A weight belt.
Well, he was lifting.
But no, like
Yeah, no, he was.
he just wore a weight belt.
Did he use it as a back brace?
I think so.
Oh.
And that was the other one that I thought was a bit odd. Like he would show up to practice and he was just like in normal clothes, but like not really. He was still kind of Hulk Hogan.
Did you ever watch his reality show?
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of it
Is that
too.
Hogan Knows Best or whatever?
Yeah, he was pretty normal in that.
Yeah.
Like he just lived a normal
He just
life.
lived a normal life.
He had a nice house and
Sleeping with his buddies' wives. And
well, now that okay, so this will be later in our program.
Yeah.
We don't have time to do it right now.
No.
Well, actually, we do, but we're not going to.
No.
Some of the greatest Terry Bollea audio
Yeah.
comes from him being in court testifying
About his small penis.
about the case with Bubba the Love Sponge's wife.
Yeah.
And that whole thing we'll have to reset later.
Yeah.
But it was a big part of the post Hulk Hogan career storyline.
Sure. But the other one thing is he could walk into an NFL locker room and he would own that locker room. When he came around, it was still a big deal.
Give me something. Hulk Hogan, so what year? You probably early 2000s?
Early 2000s.
Late 90s?
Late 90s, early 2000s.
If Hulk Hogan, so he's retired.
Yeah.
Give me, at that period in time, give me any room that guy could walk into and not command.
Yeah.
Because I don't,
Yeah.
you're going to be hard pressed to find. I mean, maybe like a meeting of Mensa members.
Yes.
Or,
But yeah, when he came around a locker room, people loved it. It was like remember when like Eminem came to the Lions facility for like Hard Knocks? That was Hogan, man. He would come around, he'd be in Tampa and he would come around and it was a big deal.
Maybe the MIT book club, would look at it like, who's this guy?
And he would do the same thing, he would do the pose, and everyone would be like, oh, and they had to take pictures with him and like, what up, brother?
What a brother. What a goober. Seriously, dude.
People ate it up, man.
Well, yeah, I mean he was a big deal, but I just it's kind of sad that he would go around and do that after he retired, right?
Yeah, dude, he committed he committed to that bit as much as anyone has ever committed to a bit.
What do you suppose he's worth?
Lots of money. That lawsuit was $100 million. Gawker.
Well, what do you suppose he's worth?
Well, he got cleaned out by the divorce, but that Gawker thing was $100 million. So I'll bet you he was worth $40-50 million.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
I'm not too impressed.
He was pretty. He got ripped apart by the divorce. She took a lot, and then that lawsuit was kind of the best thing that ever happened to him because he kind of lost his ability to make money once everyone found out that he's just dropping N-bombs everywhere.
Bill Cosby, Hulk Hogan, Michael Jackson, Lawrence Taylor. Is anyone from the 80s a good person? Says one of our texters.
Well, the 80s were a difficult time for a
well,
lot of
dude,
people.
let's not blame that on the 80s.
Yeah.
I think you should take that as a lesson that many of your heroes, no matter what decade you're talking about, aren't good people.
Yeah, but can I also say that I think it was a lot easier to be a horrible person and hide it
back then. Yeah, now you get canceled.
Yeah, well, and you get found out.
And everything gets recorded. Like,
Yeah.
you don't say anything or do anything without a camera or a microphone on.
Hulk Hogan had been calling people racial slurs probably for 40 years, and then he was like, damn it, I'm being recorded. And they're like, yeah, Hulk. It's like, oh, the moment we start recording you, we find it out. It's like, oh, I've never said that before. Nah, I think you have.
Well, you'll be seeing me tomorrow roll in with a weight belt on as I ride my new saddled hyena. It's my new brand.
Let's go.
Rest in peace, I guess.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan.
Yes. Not
Terry Bollea.
can get bent.
Whatever.
Yeah.
He was
Isachi.
71 years old.